President Adama Barrow says his government is determined to promote developmental politics over sentimental one. Zambia aims to vaccinate more than 8 million people as the country witnessed its third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. Elsewhere, farmers in Kenya's North Rift region shift to fruit farming due to climate change. These and more stories coming your way on the news text. It's 2:30 in Banjul. You are watching the news text live on Africa TV, and I am Julden Jaisware. Now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow has said that his government is more than ever before determined to promote politics of development over politics of sentiment. He spoke against what he called politics of insults, tribal lines, and alienation in the country. According to Barrow, as the population enjoys absolute freedom of expression, they should be cautious in the application of those rights. Details in this report.
Politics, which is supposed to reflect societal values of the Gambia, is arguably marred by hate speech among political figures and subsequently their followers. Key bearers of these accusations are militants of the National People's Party and those of the United Democratic Party. President Barrow, who presides over the laying of the foundation for the construction of the Kiamwest Road on Monday, expresses his commitment to change the narrative.
Development politics, ndelo politics ifanga ole nadija. Politics kuma kuntamfo.
Politics of development is the kind of politics we bring here. Senseless politics, politics of abusive language, politics based on tribalism, politics in which you profile people, politics where you tell people you are a Fula from Guinea, you tell some you are from Casamas or you are from Senegal. That is the kind of politics I want to end in the Gambia. Freedom allows people the opportunity to speak, act, and pursue happiness without unnecessary external restrictions. All freedom requires compromise between the rights of individuals and the goals and obligations of the state. But for Mr. Barrow, his government has offered extraordinary freedom to Gambians. The freedom Gambians attain in my government is extraordinary. Today, journalists are free and talk anyhow they like. They host programs which are named after the president. They say everything and walk home to sleep without problems. That too is extraordinary. But I will tell you one thing. The kind of politics I see in the Gambia on the 4th of December, if you are not careful, I swear, if you are not careful until you make mistake, you will light torches during the day looking for President Barrow and you will not see me. There is growing concern over what is taught as abuse of democratic principles among politicians and their supporters, especially on the social media platforms. It is common to come across audios containing hate speech from one political group to another and sometimes insults directed to individuals or groups in the name of political activism. Authorities such as the police have always cautioned the public to take an active role against any situation that is likely to create chaos in the upcoming presidential election. Reporting for Africa TV, this is Omar Ahmad Toure.
President Adama Barrow said his government is determined to end politics of insult and discrimination in the Gambia. Now, the government of the Gambia has on Wednesday signed a joint cooperation agreement with the government of Sierra Leone to boost economic ties. The agreement is signed by Gambia's Foreign Minister Momodou Tangara and Sierra Leonean Minister of Internal Affairs David Panda. The initiative is expected to capture various areas including economic development, financial services, security, among a host of others. Sohnas Tunkara has the rest of that story.
The relationship between the Gambia and Sierra Leone started way back during colonial era as the two countries were administered by the British. In order to further strengthen the already cordial relations, the two countries have agreed on a joint cooperation agreement signed on Wednesday. According to Sierra Leone's Minister of Internal Affairs, David Panda Noah, the cooperation has been signed on various reasons, including exclusion of residence and permits between the two countries.
We've signed that joint communication, which will involve various things, cooperation on various things, economy, the finance, financial services, security, defense, agriculture, trade, and various other host of other things inclusive of that. And so we're looking forward to this. Already we've had like 2 MOUs, one looking at residential permits for both people in the Gambia and Sierra Leone to do away with that. So we're looking at that. We haven't signed that. We're going to discuss it with our various leaders. And then also another one on trade, an MOU that was being signed in 2006 but never been implemented. And so we're looking to see what we can do with that.
Mr. Noah said although the ties between the countries was there but has not been signed, as a result, there is need to put it under signature to make it stronger than before.
And we are here because of a discussion between the 2 presidents, the president of the Gambia and the president of Sierra Leone, where they discussed our relationships. We have had a long-standing relationship with the Gambia since colonial times. We have had friendships, we've had business transactions between our 2 peoples, but we have never cemented it. We've never put it to precipitate something that should come out of it, make it stronger. And so His Excellency, the President of Gambia, Barrow, and His Excellency, the President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada thought it fit that we should find a way of creating something out of this relationship.
The High Commissioner of the Gambia to Sierra Leone, Aluke Jame, described the move as a momentous, echoing the benefits that both countries could gain together.
This is a momentous occasion because for the first time in the history and in the relationship and the ties that these 2 countries have, which is very historic and very rich, but the visit today has concretized that in a way which is the first of its type.
The anticipated MOU is aimed at the cancellation of residential payment of permits between the 2 countries. Once the agreement is fruitful, Gambians living in Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans living in the Gambia will be exempted from the payment of residential permits. According to Honorable Jammeh, the Immigration Department of the 2 nations will look for possibilities to foster the signing of the proposed agreement as soon as possible. For African News, Sohna Tunkara.
Gambia and Sierra Leone signed a joint cooperation aimed at boosting economic ties between the 2 countries. Now, the president of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, has launched the country's first ever locally owned mobile telecom service, operator. The digital network is expected to fast-track connectivity of areas previously not served by foreign-owned telecom firms. President Kiir said his government is committed to bringing mobile services to the remotest of areas. Details in this report.
South Sudan's government says it wants to speed up connectivity for areas previously not served by foreign-owned telecom companies operating in the country. President Kiir says his government is encouraging both local and foreign businesses to invest in South Sudan.
The tax exemption I am proposing will be done in collaboration with National Revenue Authority to ensure modalities for tax exemption are consistent with its mandate.
Telecommunication service in South Sudan remained challenged, with mobile networks often going off. Network coverage in the country is only in major urban areas.
Digital has been a work in progress. And ladies and gentlemen, for us to launch our telecom services and product at the 10th year of our anniversary, show that South Sudanese can contribute to brighter future for ourselves here, for our children, and for the next generation.
In the capital, Juba, many residents complain of paying too much for data on mobile phone services, but being unable to get reliable services.
I'm a great user of Zain and MTN South Sudan, but in the past I've been complaining a lot because the services of these two telecom companies have not been to my expectation. Sometimes you subscribe for bundles and they don't take that long, or they don't give in return to what you subscribe for. And also in terms of, in terms of minutes that you need to subscribe for calling, it's really damn expensive.
The citizens have not been enjoying the privileges. Like for example, when using internet, phone calls, and all those kind of stuff, they have never been enjoying such privileges like in other countries. However, with the new telecommunication operator which has been launched in the country, still I am much skeptical about how the management is going to look like.
Many here say South Sudan needs to catch up with the rest of the world in terms of digital technology. Digital joins Zain and South African-owned mobile giant MTN Telecom in the South Sudan's market.
The world's youngest nation launches its first locally owned telecom operator. Now the government of Zambia is working towards vaccinating more than 8 million people as the country witnesses third wave of the coronavirus global pandemic. Cases on the rise in the South African country as 24 deaths and over 1,400 new COVID-19 cases have been recorded on Wednesday alone. Officials from the Ministry of Health has called on the citizens to join in the fight against the global health crisis by getting vaccinated and observing the COVID-19 protocols. We have more of that in this report.
Zambia has witnessed a third wave of COVID-19 infections since June. The rising number of cases point to a high positivity rate in those being tested. And the health minister says there has been an increase in admissions to hospitals, with about 70% of the patients needing oxygen support. But it says it's working hard to tackle this health crisis.
Government has invested heavily by recruiting more, supported by partners, but we still welcome more support to ensure that we increase the number of health workers. Bed space, we've continued creating extra bed space, but at the time when we had so many patients, 1,300, you find that the bed capacity was overwhelmed. And also oxygen. Oxygen has been a key drag in the COVID-19 response. We've invested by increasing the number of oxygen cylinders, concentrators, oxygen delivery devices, but we still continue looking for support so that we prepare not only for today but for the future, because it's possible that you may have the fourth wave.
The health ministry says it still faces challenges in getting adequate vaccines, but thanked China for its support on this front.
We commend the People's Republic of China, the government and its people, for supporting the COVID-19 response in Zambia. Africa CDC and the Zambia National Public Health Institute and the China CDC, we've been working together. Technical, financial and material support.
The government aims to vaccinate 8.3 million Zambians and express its gratitude to China for its efforts in helping the country fight COVID-19.
We are also delighted that the People's Republic of China has donated 100,000 doses of Sinopharm to the government of the Republic of Zambia, and we hope to receive these doses this month of July. So that is going to add to what we are doing.
The Ministry of Health says it's working towards getting more vaccines so that more people in the country are vaccinated against COVID-19.
We will now take a short break. Still to come, it's more local and international news. Do stay tuned.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put in to constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome to Staples, the office superstore for all your office needs, office furnitures, office equipment, office kitchenwares, office stationery. Get all you need for your workplace. Office desks, chairs, workstation, conference table, computers, printers, monitors, sofas, filing cabinets, water dispensers, microwaves, ovens, air coolers, and lots more. Staples, the best superstore in the Gambia.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the news desk coming to you live on iAfrica TV, and I am Julden Suare. Now to the rest of our stories. Farmers in Kenya's North Rift region are forced to shift to fruit farming because of their maize crops start to wilt due to the effect of climate change. Kenya's long rains, which usually starts from March to May, haven't been experienced in the Rift region, which is classified as the country's grain basket. More of that in this report.
Kenya's North Rift has been known for many years as a leading producer of maize, but many farmers there are abandoning growing that crop. Dr. Nesmas Ngetich is a farmer and a university lecturer. He quit maize farming due to the difficulties he faced and is now fully focused on fruit farming.
We are currently in the, trying to spread the message of diversification because of the opportunities that most of these other plants give to farmers in terms of income. Corn production has been declining over years, and many growers have experienced a decline in production from maybe 30 bags an acre to 15 and like that. So, and then also the market prices and the free, market for the importers. That one has brought down the cost of the prices of maize.
The transition has given Dr. Ngetich financial freedom in ways he didn't expect. He's growing a variety of fruits at his farm and is now more focused on selling fruit tree seedlings so as to encourage other farmers to emulate him.
Fruit production gives a big opportunity, both for local and for international market. The prices of fruits in the market, the common market, is good, it's high, especially for growers. Because if you produce for avocados, for apples, for papaya, for, name them, passion fruits, tree tomatoes, their prices are relatively higher.
His new venture has placed him on the international map as more farmers across Africa and beyond are ordering for seedlings. But the demand, according to him, is overwhelming at times.
A client in Ghana who requires 250,000 runners of strawberries. But currently, we tell them we are still supplying other places. Of course, we are trying to bulk and probably profit. So there's an opportunity. So there's an opportunity in production and also in the nursery.
As a farmer, he wants to engage in sustainable farming that will also address nutritional needs of the local population.
He's been able to cater for his family and for himself, and also he's been able to pay more than 5 workers to maintain the gardens. Right now, his main focus is to go higher and, of course, increase the acreage of his fruit farming. For now, he's happy with what he's got, and, of course, productivity is his endgame.
A report in Kenya, we come back home because the majority leader of the National Assembly look into the pending matters to be adequately responded by various ministers. Barrow spoke on the presence of hippos in the village of Nyani and Janjambure, which in recent years has threatened lives of farmers and their plantation. We have details of that in this report.
Despite their threats to lives of the farmers, Hippopotamus are the third largest terrestrial mammals in the ecosystem. Over the years, the lawmakers have raised concern over the safety of farmers and their crops from the jaws of these big creatures from rural communities in the Central River region. But it appears to the majority leader of the House, K. Barrow, that the hippo stories are only told when there is already a disaster.
But one other thing is the hippos. Nyani and Janjambure are always talking about these hippopotamus. And the Ministry of Environment is saying that these are endangered species and they need to be protected. But what are they doing to ensure that the farmers also are not, their farms are not destroyed and seedlings are done at the end of the harvest, they go home with nothing. I think those are key issues that the minister needs to look into.
Time to time, these wild animals would choose to walk out their survival of the river, creating panic among the population. Residents in Janjambure and her surrounding rely on Gambia Army to suppress tension whenever the hippo is out and about on their fields. Honorable Barrow shifted some attention on the implementation of policies needed to develop national languages through the formal education system.
Another area that was also looked at, the issue of non-formal education. I think this is very important, and we are running into the fourth year now. Our experts in the National Assembly are still talking about this. So I think it is high time that the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and Higher Education come up with a linguistic policy that will help us to be able to learn about our national languages. Because children learn these things at the early age. If they are not able to do these things properly, it is going to be very difficult for them to catch up. Because in some of the rural areas, we still do not have learning early childhood education programs. But we have very good policies on national languages that will help these things. And I think that needs to be revived, and AMFIL has to come on board, and they need to expand that area.
The National Assembly member for Combo South enjoined ministers to adopt the state media as medium of communication on all executive activities to keep the people informed.
The GSM operators and the cheating that they are doing, but the coordination between the ministries also. Information is not flowing between the land ministries, so they don't know what X and Y is doing. I think the ministry need to coordinate that and be able to put everything together so that we use the national broadcaster GRTS in all activities that we are doing, so that the population is informed, and that will enable us to know the programs and activities at the level of both ministries, departments and agencies in this country.
During the session, ministers took the floor to answer to questions by parliamentarians on different national development matters. Among the bills debated for enactment are the ones on access to information and the much-awaited Persons with Disability Bill. Khadija Seka, iAfrica News.
The report by Khadija Seka brings us to the end of the news desk, but for more of these and others, you can join us in our subsequent news bulletins. Many thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company, and do have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.